Well, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Linda Anderson here from Linda Lou Creates. And I am calling this part 2 because in my last video, I mentioned about doing another round of these adorable cards from the, let me find it, Playing in the Rain suite. Here's the bundle. I featured these cards last week. Let me move these out of the way. Sorry, these are the ones I'm going to make today. So I made these cards last week. So look for that video. And then I kind of alluded to the fact that these guys, first of all, are die cut out of the designer series paper called Rain or Shine. And there is a sheet in there, this one here, that does not have dies. Now you can fussy cut them, which if you have followed me long enough, you know I am a very lazy crafter. So fussy cutting was not an option for me. I'll be honest with you, I did cut one out, and that's when I realized, yeah, we're not going to do any more of these. So I decided instead, so here are the cards that I'm going to share tonight. I decided just to use my circle dies and cut them out. The epitome of laziness, all right? And I'm very proud of it. But anyway, let's get started with these cuties now. And again, featuring that Rain or Shine paper. So this first one, let me bring this in my card base. All three card base, excuse me, no, two of the card bases are my top folding. That means they are 11 by 4 1/4, scored down the middle at 5 1/2. So inside, I just did a little bit of some stamping. My sentiments, inside and out, came from this set, this Charming Sentiments. This flower is part of that Playing in the Rain stamp set, and I just used some markers and colored that in. So that, I don't know if I told you, was Old Olive. I have a piece of basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. That's what it is on the inside as well. I have a piece of that Rain or Shine paper. Beautiful, isn't it? That flirty flamingo. This is 3 3/4 by 5. Here's the raindrops side of it then. I'm actually going to go ahead and adhere this down. And then this is a specialty paper. So I will show you here in just a second. One side, it's sort of like a pearlescent shine to it. I don't know if that's the word I want or not, but it's kind of shiny. So like the animal, check out, I don't know if I can catch it in the light. His jacket is all shiny. Here on this side, the umbrellas, you can see a lot of that pearlescent shine there. I decided to use instead the other side of this paper. It measures 4 3/4 long by 1 3/4 across. Usually I do the banner cut. This time I decided instead to just do a diagonal cut. You can use your paper trimmer, you can use scissors. So I just happen to have a pair of scissors right by, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut this at an angle there. Now I'm going to go on the opposite side than my sample card, just because of the direction that the dog is facing. So that's the only reason why. So. All right, so there, we've got something fancy then on that strip. So let's go ahead, adhere everything down. This, with the umbrellas, I really like. I wanted that bright color on it then, that mango color. So that's why I went with that side. So let's go ahead, adhere this down. And then this is all going to go down to that card base. All right. So And there it goes. I did a variety of sizes of my circle dies, just basically what looks good to me. So I went ahead and die cut out the dog. Then this is Mango Melody, the coordinating scallop. These are from the Layering Circles dies. And then the next bigger of the plain circle is out of Smoky Slate. So I just wanted to kind of pull that gray in in a little bit too. So adhere those all together, have all of my dimensionals on the back, and then we are going to pop this down. Pop it down, maybe pop it up. All right. From that Charming Sentiment stamp set, I inked on Balmy Blue cardstock using Night of Navy ink, and then again die cut that out. And this I am going to just go ahead and adhere it straight down to my circle, to my focal image. So let's put it, how's about right there. Wanted to do a little bit of just a few embellishments, so I opted for one or the other. And when I think I put the linen thread bow down first, I'm like, I don't know that I like that. It needs something else. So that's why then I added some pearls to it. So let's go ahead. I just rolled up a glue dot, and there it goes. I wrapped like 3 times and then tied a bow with this linen thread. Sometimes I just wrap it around my fingers and tie it that way. I know some people use a fork. I've seen that as well. So whatever system you have, use that, tie your bow. I'm gonna, like I said, get my festive pearls, which are somewhere. And if I don't find them, we're gonna pretend that I put them on. So let's see, here they are. So let me just get them out of the container here. And oh gosh, it looks like I used the silver on the sample. I'm gonna grab instead, how about some gold instead? So we'll just, I like these, the metallic ones. Okay, so there we go. Card number 1, it's done. All right, let's see what card number 2 is gonna be like. This one makes use of the little pig. And if I could find my samples, here we go. Here we go on that. Now, let me show you a couple things. First of all, again, the top folding card base. This time I used the basic white, the thick of that. Here's a piece of that playing in the, no, it is not. It's Rain or Shine Designer Series paper. So I have that. This is the opposite side then. It's the shiny pearlescent side. So let me go ahead and adhere this down. I love this watercolor look. I am not good at all when it comes to watercolor, so I like it whenever I can get paper that it looks that way instead. All right, now I just went ahead and grabbed the Regals pack, the 6x6 paper, Designer Series paper that gives you a little bit of every color within the Regals collection. This is the Old Olive. I wanted to bring out the green that is on this little critter. So this is 3/4 of an inch wide, 4 inches long. Then I got a piece of Old Olive cardstock, 4x1. All right, so let me go ahead and adhere these together and then put it down to my card front. So I hope everyone is doing well today. It's been a busy weekend, but beautiful outside. So I've been loving that. A little chilly, but yesterday we had a horrible wind and rain storm, but nothing like, I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so it was nothing at all like what the South. I hope everyone who is from there is safe and sound down there from all of the terrible tornadoes that have been happening. All right, I do have another piece of that DSP. This one measures, it is 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. Flirty Flamingo is 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. Now, obviously you can see there's a mark on my paper, does not, or my cardstock, doesn't matter. It is getting covered up. So let's get this adhered down to that. And then I do have dimensionals already on the back of this. So I think this is a fun way to get the colors in that you want. I always like to use my focal image especially to, that's my inspiration for the colors then of what else I'm going to use. So when I had this little piggy image, I was like, I've got to get the blue, the green, and the pink in there. So I kind of went from there with it. So, all right, dimensionals. Let's just pop this up right smack dab in the middle, or close enough. All right, the piggy. Again, layering circles for both of these. All right, and let's get that adhered. And then I am going to put some dimensionals on. And let me find them. I just need to make sure that it does hang off a little bit. So I just want to make sure that on this portion that I don't put any dimensionals there. So I always like to kind of cover that area up with my fingers. So okay, then I'm going to show you just a real quick trick with the sentiment. Oops, I didn't get that paper off there. So let me get this down. And again, the dimensionals are not here where it overhangs. Now my strip here that is die cut, let me show you where that comes from. And it is this set of dies, the Floral Gallery. This comes as, it coordinates together, these two. So it has the longer and the shorter of these fun strips. So I'm using the shorter one. My sentiment, dear friend, I'm going to show you a little trick with that. It actually comes from this Plentiful Plants stamp set. But as you can see, it says to a dear friend. So let's get rid of the 2A. All right, so here's that stamp on my acrylic block. Use whatever you have. Scotch tape. I happen to have Post-it tape, and I am going to cover up the words to, so I'm masking them off. Coming in with my Memento Black, inking it up. Now, learn from my mistake and make sure to remove this before you stamp it down. Yes, I stamped it with that, and it did not turn out good. I had that nice big blob then. So, all right, we're gonna see how good this turns out. And there we go. To a friend. Or not without the tua. It's just dear friend. All right. So this, I'm going to cover over a little bit of the circle, but it's also going to stick off a little bit. So let me get, because there's dimensionals behind this, let me see if I can find my mini dimensionals. And I'm going to pop one of those behind the strip. Add a little bit of glue onto this as well. And then we will have this done. All right. I added a bunch of pearls then around this guy. Card number 2 now is done. So let's go ahead, take this one away, and card number 3. This one's my favorite because it has a bit of a, I don't know that it's a fun fold, but it's certainly something, it was fun to make. So let's bring in the pieces for this. It actually, this is the one that is not the top folding. So this is your normal card card base, where it is the 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So this is the way that it's going to open up. You can see I just put a little piece of scrap designer series paper in there. This time I have the turtle die cut with the layering circle using Old Olive, the coordinating scalloped die cut circle. I have a piece of my designer series paper. It's 5.5 inches long by 2 inches wide. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. And then I'm going to talk you through what I did for this piece here on the front of the card. But let me go ahead. Let's get this down. Yeah, I know. This is that side with the umbrellas that I really like. So I'm going to have to come up with something that makes use of the umbrellas. So, okay. So this is going to go right up against the top, the bottom, and the right side of the card. All right, so here it is. Now, here's this piece. This was 4 1/4, 5.5. I just went ahead and cut a full front to it because I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do. So let me bring in the die that I used to create this edge. And it's actually the Scalloped Contours dies. This piece right here. So I'm just going to show you. I happen to have a piece of cardstock. It isn't the right size, but I'll give you an idea. So the first thing I did was cut a portion of this off. About 1.5 inches is what I came in from. So from this part of the scallop, this point, over approximately 1.5 inches. So once that was cut off, I then stamped my Feel Better Soon in Old Olive ink. That's when I realized, I should probably re-ink my pad because that's looking a little light. But that comes from this stamp set, the Cottage Rose. Once I stamped my sentiment, then I ran it through the embossing folder. This is called Raindrops. It's within that suite, the Rain or Shine suite. So look for that. It's a fun one. Add some nice texture that way. Make sure that when you do anything like this, that you always do your embossing folder last. Don't think then that you're going to do the stamping, then the embossing folder, and then do the cut here on this side. What's going to happen when you put it through your die cut machine is it's going to squish down or push down your raised pieces here from the embossing folder. And so you're going to lose all that awesome texture. So do your embossing folder last. And then that was it. This now, I have a bunch of dimensionals on the back because this whole thing is going to get popped up to the card front. I wanted that dimension on there, not only visually with the embossing folder, but actually with dimensionals. So I know, bear with me while I pull these all off. It's coming. There's actually room for more, believe it or not. In my world, there's always room for more dimensionals. So let's get this done. One more. And then all I'm going to do is line it up. Here is the fold. So I'm just going to line this up at the top. I cannot talk while doing this because it takes some concentration. And at the bottom. So I really just lined it up, these corners, and everything else will fall into place. So here you have it with that nice dimension in there with this having been popped up. Let's get the turtle on. So again, just like with the previous card, I do not have dimensionals all the way around this circle. I'm leaving some of it blank because I'm going to have it hanging off of this piece underneath it that already has dimensionals on. So this way, I am good. Let's add some pearls to this one, and then we will definitely be done. So I'll just go with 3 this time. And there we go. A simple card, but yet there was a few extra steps that really, I think, stepped it up to then the next level. So, all right. Yes, this is my favorite one. So let's bring the other 2 back in. I keep moving my things around here. I'm so sorry that I'm constantly moving. So here are the 3 cards I made tonight. Let me kind of move these up so I can bring back the other cards that I made last time, all using that same suite and that same DSP. So I am nowhere near being in the camera, am I? There we go. So, all right. Well, there it is. So much fun with this. Don't forget to get some of this. The paper will be retiring, so you want to make sure you get that. So anyway, hey, I know next week is Easter. I might come on to do a quick Facebook Live. If not, I will definitely wish you guys all a very happy Easter. And if I don't see you next week, I will see you then in 2 weeks. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. Bye now.